Welcome to Optimal Timelines. My name is Sean, and this is going to be your April 2024 TAROTSCOPE readings for your North Node by sign and house. Now, if you're new to my channel, the reason that I use the North Node in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign is that it's recognized in astrology that your North Node is your North Star. It's what you're here to learn and accomplish in this lifetime. So it's much more accurate in readings as opposed to your sun, moon, or ascendant sign. Now, before we begin the readings, I want to touch on something really briefly because we are in the midst right now of eclipse season. We had the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra on March 25th, and we are coming up in April, on April 8th, for the solar eclipse in Aries. The reason this is important is because transformation happens with eclipses because the eclipses actually happen on the nodes of the moon. So it's a very karmic, transformative time. And if you've been with my channel for a few months, if you remember back when I did the September 2023 readings, I was talking about things getting very intense through the end of 2023 and then on into 2024. And I wanted to kind of reiterate that no matter what goes on in the world around us, on the collective level, we still have our individual soul path that we're working on. You know, lots of people, our ancestors went through very transformative times, world wars and, various things that happened. But at the end of the day, through our lives, we're still working through our soul path. So these readings are geared toward our personal soul paths as it's shown in our North Node by sign and house. However, the reason I'm bringing this up is because April and throughout the rest of 2024 looks to be pretty intense astrological wise on the collective level. So I just want to say, be safe out there. Try to have love and compassion in your heart for, your life and those around you. And we'll get through all of this together. And remember that it's up to us individually to work on our path. And then hopefully as a collective, it makes a difference. Anyway, with that, I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin the readings. I call upon my spirit guides and guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see and hear this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, North Node in Aries and or the first house. This is going to be your April 2024 TAROTSCOPE reading. Okay, so the card that popped out for you for the first 2 weeks of April is the King of Pentacles. Now, remember this solar eclipse that's coming up in Aries. This is your eclipse, North Node in Aries. Okay, the collective North Node is in Aries right now. And so this eclipse is going to, if you're watching this reading, whether you have your North Node in Aries or the first house, this is going to affect you deeply in some way. Now, with the King of Pentacles, what I'm picking up, it's really interesting because Aries, and in particular the first house, rules the self. In particular, it rules the body, like our own body and the senses of our body. And Mars is very much about the body. What I'm getting for you for the first 2 weeks is it's really going to help you to connect to the energy of your physical self. all the physical functions of yourself, really connecting to your body. There's like a wisdom there, and there's a power, an untapped power for many of you that needs to be fully realized. We'll get into your timeline cards and it'll become a little bit more clear. So your timeline cards are, you've got the Emperor, you've got the Queen of Swords reversed, and you've got the Two of Pentacles. So the opposite of our body would be our mental state, okay? And that's what this reversed Queen of Swords is saying. Because remember, if you're watching this video, your South Node is in Libra and or the seventh house, okay? So this is very much about thinking and mental capacity. And in this case, what's happening this month is a transfer of energy wants to happen, a transfer of energy of being in the mind and thinking and coming into the body, which is Aries or first house. And I see that this is going to be a real key for you. Now, what does it mean to go into your body? Okay, it means that taking care of our physical self, making sure we're sleeping and we're eating, and also enjoying the pleasures of having a physical body, with a good meal. It's about all things sensual. Now, when I say sensual, okay, that word, it doesn't mean necessarily, okay, sexy, although it could, right? But what I mean by sensual is it's everything to do with the senses, because drinking a delicious warm beverage can be a very sensual act. And so what I'm getting for you is that I'm seeing that there's this transfer of energy that wants to empower you. It's almost like if too much energy is pouring into the mental structure of what I'm seeing here for you, um, it's like a loss of power. But if that power is redirected into the body and the self, it's like a balancing is happening, and it's going to help you not only for the first 2 weeks of Aries season here, and in April but it's going to help you just in general, throughout your life. Now, the reason I say the power is because, you've got here the Emperor, and the Emperor card is ruled by the planet Mars and by the sign of Aries. You can see the two rams on each end of the throne here of the Emperor. And also on the top of the throne. Okay, so this is very Aries like. This is you being empowered. The thing you want to remember is for the first 2 weeks of April, but also, as I said, through the rest of your life, the more you can connect to the wisdom of your body, sensing things, your instinct, your natural human/animal instincts of intuition. The more you can do that, you are empowering yourself. And so that's what this is. And the reversed Queen of Swords is saying, get the energy so much out of the mind and more into the body. And then with the Two of Pentacles, this is like a balancing act that's going on. This is balancing you in a good way. Now, the interesting thing that I'm getting for you is for a lot of you with this Two of Pentacles, this can have it's going to have benefits for everybody, but for some of you, many of you, it could be like real tangible results in your life, like, better health, better relationships, better financial type things. It's so this balancing, you're getting something out of it, most definitely. And some of you, it's going to come into different areas of your life, but essentially what you're doing is you're stepping into your power more. Now, the two advice cards for you are, you've got the Eight of Wands reversed, and you've got the Queen of Pentacles reversed. And what this is saying here is, it's interesting because you have the Queen of Pentacles reversed over here, but you have the King of Pentacles here. What this is this is saying that you want to make sure that the energy that is coming into your body is used in a way that, how do I put this, that is empowering you, and you're not giving your power away. Because what can happen, and the reason that the Eight of Wands reversed here is like, it's a card of like saying, whoa, slow down. It's like change direction. Is what could happen, and this is a heads up for you, is you could start to feel this power coming into you, but you might be tempted to use it in a very Libra-like way. Like, oh, I'm feeling all this energy and power. Let me go and give it all away to whatever, to my job or to whatever. Because remember, in this lifetime, you're learning to empower yourself and think of yourself and actually be selfish in a way. Selfishness is not a bad word when it comes to North Node in Aries or the first house. It's not that you're ignoring everyone else. It's that when you can empower yourself, you become empowered for those around you in your life. The more you don't empower yourself, the more that you can't really be there for people in your life. Okay. And so the Queen of Pentacles reverse is saying, like, don't take this power and just use it in a way that is going to be, well, I'm just going to like kind of give it away, or I'm going to like work longer hours, or I'm going to not really do what I want to do, but I'm going to like do what someone else is asking me. So it's this proper use of this energy coming in. But the real exciting thing is that this could really, as I said with this Two of Pentacles, you could get some very immediate, tangible results in different areas of your life. So a very nice payoff. Anyway, be strong, be safe out there. Reach for your inner power, and become your best self. You're in the midst of transforming. Make the most of this eclipse, and remember, whatever's going on in the collective, we don't have control over. We only have control over our own soul path. So with that, I would like to say thank you for watching. I hope this reading made sense to you and you found some value in it. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed where I could see where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading in the future, there's going to be a link from my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. Make it a great month. We'll see you in some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Taurus and or the second house. This is going to be your April 2024 Tarot reading. Okay, really interesting. So the card that popped out for you as a theme for the first 2 weeks of April is the Nine of Swords. And what I'm feeling like for a lot of you, and this has to do with a lot of things that have happened recently, because your North Node, is in Taurus, but you have your South Node in Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto and Mars. There's been a lot of, Mars Pluto energy the past several months off and on. But what I'm getting for a lot of you is that you could be experiencing a lot of anxiety, maybe not sleeping that well, just kind of general worrying, as I said, anxiety about things. And a lot of it is stemming from like old things that have happened in your life. And then they could be kind of resurfacing, just like old wounds, old issues that are coming up. And it's just something that you are working through when you're moving toward this like North Node in Taurus, because there could be a lot of baggage coming from that Scorpio South Node, or South Node in the 8th house. So what are your timeline cards? You've got the Two of Swords. You've got the Four of Wands reversed, and you've got the Six of Cups reversed. Now, as I said before, a lot of this is stemming from like old issues. For some of you, it could be like some things that are stemming from childhood that have to do with, parents and siblings, or just things when you were younger in school. It could also have to do with things, with this reversed Four of Wands, things that have to do with like possible, like relationships and, weddings. So if these are like older things, for each of you, it'll be slightly different. And there could be a combination of things, just, older issues that are kind of resurfacing, and they're causing their stress for some reason. Now, the reason that it's coming up is what I'm feeling like is there is a purging of this old energy that wants to be purged and transformed. Okay, it wants to be kind of dealt with, and it wants to be kind of done away with. And one of the ways that that can happen is with this Two of Swords. I'm getting that it's really important for you to try to block the energy of what this is feeling like. In other words, something that has happened a year, 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago, it shouldn't have the same emotional charge that it has. It's something that's happened, but the way you get through it is you just have to like say, okay, it happened, and it doesn't help to keep it in your heart. So you're seeing that this card here is like a blocking of emotional energy. The reason that she is blindfolded is that she is not seeing the past or worrying about the future. She's like kind of living in the present. She's not trying to look into the past, and so there's this blocking that's going on, emotionally, which is actually good, because remember, you're moving toward Taurus, which is enjoyment of life, getting into taking charge in your life, and to live a more simple life, less complicated, less drama. Okay, and that's what you're moving towards. So as these things come up, remember that you are being told to take charge of this. You're saying, no more, I'm not going to let this affect me in my life, and you're going to be blocking, this out, and it's kind of up to you to deal with it. It's something that's happened. I mean, we all have, bad memories, and I get, it is, yes, easier said than done, but it can be done where you're like, okay, what good does it for me to worry about something that happened 5 years ago? It's like, it happened, time to like kind of put it to bed type of a thing. Now, your two advice cards, you have the Justice card reversed, and you've got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. With the Justice card, okay, the aspect that's in this for most of you is there was something that was like unfairly, you feel like it was unfair to you, unfair, like something that was not just, that was unfair, and that could be part of the reason that you're like, you want like justice in some way. Okay, and it's almost like you won't feel satisfied, or you can't move past until there's some sort of some sort of justice. But you're being told, don't wait for that to happen. Don't worry about it. It happened. Everything will come out in the wash in the end. Okay, everyone has their own karma that they're building. So if something was unjustly done, okay, it'll all come out in wherever, in this lifetime or some other lifetime. Okay, so we all have to deal with that. But I get that a lot of you are waiting for this like unjust thing, and you can't stop thinking about it like something that happened years ago, and or whatever it is, and it's like you got to get past that. Okay, that's part of your Taurus second house path, which is, okay, I'm going to just charge through it. That happened. I'm going to be like that strong bull. I'm going to take charge of my life. I'm going to move toward my best life and not worry about, what happened in the past. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, all of the Knight cards are cards of movement, but of all the cards, all the Knight cards, the Pentacles is the least amount of movement. And when it's reversed here, it's about being like stuck and stagnant. And so what's happening the second 2 weeks, to put this all in a nutshell, is you've been feeling like all of this stuff is resurfacing, and it's resurfacing so you can get rid of it and get unstuck. You can get out of the mud, out of the muck, out of the mire, and you can move forward. And that's why it's coming up. So it's very natural and normal to, you're feeling anxious about things that have happened, and you're going to work through it. Okay. You're going to say, okay, it happened. I'm not going to try to make sense of it. I'm not going to try to say, I need justice right now in this, and you need to like have the strength to like let it go, to like block it out. And what'll happen is when you do that, and I feel a lot of you will be able to do that, even if you do it on a small level, even if you do it like, let's say 70% or 50% or whatever, and you've done some letting go, because there are, different levels of letting go. It's not just like I'm holding on to it and I'm going to let go. It's like there are levels. So no matter what level you can let go, even a little bit, you're going to get unstuck. And then the more you see like, oh, okay, I kind of feel better. I'm getting unstuck. And then you can like let it go more and more and more. So it's not just, nothing happens rarely. Everything, in life is not just one blunt thing to another. Okay. It happens gradually. So anything you can do to move toward letting all of this go and taking charge is going to get you kind of unstuck and feeling better. So anyway, don't stress too much about the anxiety and worry. Try to take some deep breaths, try to block it out. Make sense. It happened. It happened for a reason, because it's all about our learning path. We all have, unjust things that we feel were done to us and said to us and whatnot. And but it's up to us to like get through it. Okay, only we can give ourselves that gift. Okay. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful too, and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, where I see where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading in the future, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. Be strong. Make it a great month out there. We'll see you for the next half of April in a couple of weeks. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Gemini and or the third house. This is going to be your April 2024 tarot scope reading. Okay, very interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you for the first 2 weeks of April is the reversed Five of Wands. And when I saw this card, a little bit of a mini movie video played in my head, and it became very clear what message this is for you. I feel like that the first 2 weeks there is going to be some sort of conflict resolution that is going to take place. I feel like for a lot of you, it's a conflict that may have been going on like prior to this month. So it's something that's ongoing and it's resolved, or it's something that is going to flare up that is going to kind of get resolved. And the interesting thing is, the way it's going to get resolved is because you're going to change strategies, or you're going to have the opportunity to change strategy in the way that you deal with whatever this conflict is or was in this case. Okay, so there's this resolution energy that's kind of happening with this. So we'll get more into it. What are your timeline cards? You've got the reversed Queen of Swords. You've got the Star card, and you've got the Nine of Swords. Now, we'll start with the star. When I see the star card in a reading, has a lot of meanings, a lot of deep esoteric meanings, but one of the things that always shows me is that this situation, there's something very karmic about it, meaning that it's something that has um, energy in the past and energy for your future. It's like a karmic thing that's going on. Also, it's a very positive card because this is about not only your path but the opportunity to really kind of take your path to like a new level, like to level up. It's like a leveling up in this situation. Now, I feel like this situation that is going to that has to do with the energy of an actual person. Now, the Queen of Swords here, all of the court cards, the King, Queen, Page, and Knights, can represent energies or actual people in our life. In this case, I feel like it's an actual like person. Okay, probably someone with a strong air sign energy in their chart. Okay, so Libra, Aquarius, and also Gemini. Okay, and with your North Node in Gemini, so I feel like there's this. This is a very strong signature that's coming up of someone that's an air sign, and they could be of any gender or any sex because the court cards are not gender or sex specific. But in particular, I feel like this energy has a very it was a conflict that could have been very like verbal in nature. Okay, that's one of the things, and also it might have been like hurtful in some way. Here's the interesting thing that's going to happen. I feel like the first 2 weeks, what's happening is with this Nine of Swords is that either one person in this conflict, whether it be you or the other person or people, and as I said, it could be you and someone else, or it could be multiple people. Okay, I feel like that there's going to be a resolution because of one or more of the people involved in this is going to be thinking about it. Like something could happen in a dream where they see things clearly. Like, have you ever looked at something that was a conflict in your life and you went to bed and you had a dream, right? But you actually got some clarity in the dream, even though the dream might have been stressful and whatnot. I feel like there's that energy. It's almost like you're done worrying and having the anxiety, and I feel like it's going to be you're both going to be able to see things in a more clear way, and there's going to be this like resolution. The key to the resolution, which is really interesting, is that there's going to be something happening where you are seeing things from their side and they are also seeing things from your side. And that's very, North Node Gemini, North Node in the third house, seeing the other person's, taking the other person's thoughts, feelings, and opinions into consideration, as opposed to just, it's my way or the highway type of a Sagittarius South Node or ninth house South Node. So I feel like you're seeing it from the other person's kind of vantage point, and they are too. So when this conflict is resolved, what could happen is, as I said, with this star card, is it could really propel you forward on your path in a great way. Now, what are your advice cards? Okay, you've got the Justice card reversed, and you've got the Judgment card. Now, with the Judgment card, this is a card of awakening. This is a card of having a realization about something. And I feel like that's why I said with the Nine of Swords that you and also the other person or parties involved in this conflict are going to be able to wake up and see things from the other person's point of view. The other thing that this card is telling me is that you're being given this opportunity as kind of like a test to like level up on your path, which is really, positive, and it's tying into this star card. Now with the justice card reversed, one of the things that you're being advised not to do is to try to be obsessed with making things even Steven, like fair and square, like a wrong was done to me and I want, like, compensation in a way, like something you're going to feel like, you could feel like, and actually both parties could feel like, they're right and that they were wronged, and they, something unjust happened. But you want to let go of that. You want to, like, not worry about whether it was just it happened and you're dealing with it, and now it's time to resolve it in some way, and not try to resolve it in the way where, you feel like justice has been served. So there's going to be that, you know, that inclination to want justice to be served. And in this case, if you do that, it's not going to allow you to kind of like move on from this. So yeah, like I really feel like there's not a whole lot you need to do in this other than just be present and open to like resolving this situation, and just see it from the other person's point of view and try to help them see things from your point of view, type of a thing. And I think it can be resolved. And yeah, really, very, very powerful first 2 weeks for you. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you, and you found some value in it. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, where I can see where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be moving toward in the future, there's going to be a link in the description box below for my website. We can give you some more information. With that, I'll say thank you. Go out there, be strong, make it a great month, and we'll see you on the next videos for the second half of April. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. This is going to be your April 2024 Tarot reading. Okay, really interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Two of Swords reversed. And what I'm thinking for you, North Nodes, I'm really feeling this for the second half of. Okay, really interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you, North Nodes in Cancer, is the Two of Swords reversed. And what I'm really feeling intuitively for you is that this first 2 weeks of April, there are going to be instances of really opening up your heart and your emotions and the inner power of those, and seeing the value of that. Now, it could be more than one thing for the first 2 weeks, but I see this really powerful kind of like opening and transformation. What can that mean? It can mean like sometimes when we have this North Node in Cancer, you have your South Node in Capricorn, or the 10th house. There could be a tendency sometimes with these North Nodes where we limit the amount of emotions or the emotional spectrum in our life. We kind of limit it as a kind of a protection, so we don't go too much one way or the other, type of a thing. And I see this opening happening where, when it could be something to where you have this realization or you're feeling something very deeply. I want you to allow this to happen, because this reversed Two of Swords is opening you up. It's opening up your heart. You can see that, she has the swords of the intellect and the mind crossing over her heart section. This is reversed. She has her back to the water, which is, intuition and deep feelings. Okay, so there's this opening that is happening, and it's going to be very, very powerful, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, your timeline cards are, you've got the Death card, you've got the Eight of Cups, and you've got the Strength card. Now, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that when I talk about the so-called scary cards like the Devil card and Death, they're nothing to be afraid of. They are just like energies. We're not talking about like the literal devil. We're not talking about literal death. Okay, what we're talking about, death is a card of transformation. And it's a beautiful thing because anything that is new and fresh and that wants to grow in our life, the old ways have to die. So when you see these inspirational videos of people that go from like being really unhealthy and they make these transformation videos and they put inspirational music and they fight this fight, and down the road it could be, a year, 2 years, and they make this amazing transformation. What happened is that old person who they were had to die in order for this new person to emerge. So it's about transformation, and that's what I see happening this whole month for you, especially the first 2 weeks. This is about transformation. What is transforming? Well, you've got the Eight of Cups here. Okay, now this is not about turning your back to emotions, but this is making sense of your emotional past, making sense of it, and also having the courage to put your emotions in order and to make sense of them, as opposed to, just running away from them. You've made sense, you stacked them up, and now you can move on in your life, in a positive direction. Okay, so I see this part of the opening is maybe seeing things that have happened to you and that are happening to you in a new way, and it's opening you up emotionally, and you're seeing that, okay, I can see the deeper meaning in all of this. The other thing that's happening is with this Strength card is I feel like for a lot of you there could be an instance where someone around you is showing an immense amount of love, care, and compassion, so much so that it cracks through the barriers and really gets to your heart at a core level in a really positive way, but very, very, very transformative. So I feel like there could be for a lot of you this kind of act of, you know, selflessness, compassion, love, consideration, something that can really, because you see this and it can kind of like crack through barriers. Okay, so for some of you it's going to be that, but in any case, it's like this opening of what's happening in your emotional life. And what is going to be the payoff for all of this happening? Because, it could be very intense, like when a person who maybe doesn't have as much of an open emotional center as they could, when it begins to open, it could be very, very, very powerful and sometimes uncomfortable. Now, what's the payoff for all of this? The payoff is on your advice cards here. You've got the Empress and you've got the Page of Wands. This is the Empress card is you stepping into your power. When the more that you can open up your emotional centers and be comfortable with that, you are stepping into your power, which seems counterintuitive because with your South Node in Capricorn or the 10th house, it could be like if I build a wall and a fortress around myself and my heart and all that, I'm protected and that's power. It's not. So when you are able to not have the wall and the fortress around your emotional body, that is where your true power lies. Remember, the Empress card here is ruled by Libra and also Taurus, but the planet is Venus here. You can see the sigil of Venus over here and the heart. Okay, see the heart here. This is you stepping into your power. So that's the payoff. And the reason I say it's counterintuitive, because in this world, we reward aggression, we reward, just like, strength and not giving into emotions and all of that. But it takes much more strength to live our lives authentically and from our heart, and to live with an open heart, than it does to be, the tough person. Okay. And so that's what you're stepping into, your power. Now, the other gift that's happening is with this page of wands is when you step into your emotional power, what you're doing is you're freeing up energy, actual physical energy in your life. Wands are fire and energy. And so that energy can be used for your life, for your health, for vitality, for everything in your life, for all of your relationships, okay? Because, think about it. Like, there are two ways to deal with the world, or you could say, threats, like through love or fear. You've probably heard that before, love or fear, right? So the fear way would be, like, I'm going to build this castle and fortress, and it'll be impenetrable and no one can get through, and this and that's strength, and that's safety, and whatnot. Okay. And on some level, yeah, that may be true, right? But what you're doing is you're cutting that person is cutting themselves off to the world. They're cutting themselves off to energy outside. Okay. They're a self-containment situation going on. Yes, there could be some safety in that, but they're also cutting themselves off to energy. So what's happening here is that when you tap into this opening that's wanting to happen the first 2 weeks of April, is you're not only stepping into your power, but you are infusing your life with this energy, and you'll be able to feel it. Like when this opening happens, it could be uncomfortable at first, but the more you kind of sit with it and get used to it, you're going to feel that energy kind of surging, in your body. So it can be very, very powerful. The interesting thing is I'm seeing an energy surge in a lot of the north nodes, okay, this month. So it's interesting. Yeah, in different ways there's energy that's coming into our lives. And so you want to use it in a positive way. But just remember, always when you're coming from the state of emotional intelligence and open heart, you can't go wrong, okay? Just keep that open. Even though you may feel vulnerable, vulnerability, remember this, is good for you in this lifetime. Being emotionally vulnerable, it might feel uncomfortable, but it's really good for you. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you'd like your astrological chart analyzed where I could see where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading in the future, there's a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. Be strong. Keep that heart open, and we'll see you for the second half of April. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Leo and or the 5th house. This is going to be your April 2024 Tarot Scope reading. Okay, really interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you for the first half of April is the Ace of Pentacles. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's going to be everything that has to do with um, money, finance, investments, raises, everything that's like, a tangible, physical, something of, nature. And there's going to be this main theme that's going on. And what I'm feeling like is that this is also something that is being given to you. I feel like there is this, either you're going to be exposed to something that could give you an idea for moving forward on your path, or you will have the, inspiration of this idea to move forward in something. But I feel like there's an opportunity for you to start taking steps toward something that is for your timeline and for your future. So let's get into your timeline cards. So it'll make it a little more clear. You've got the King of Wands reversed. You've got the Hermit card, and you've also got the Knight of Cups. Now, the interesting thing on this is that I feel like that the Knight of, or the King of Wands, I should say, is representing you or the potential you. So all of the wand cards represent the fire signs. Okay, so in your case, it would be your North Node in Leo, right? But the reason it's reversed is this is a potential that of what's wanting to happen. What is that potential? The potential is stepping into your power of inspiration, of tapping into your gifts and talents more and using them in the world. And the reason that the king is reversed is that a lot of you have been struggling with that because you could be stuck in that, Aquarius south node or, 11th house south node, and, kind of being protected within the tribe or the group or the family or the company, as opposed to stepping out. Now, the other thing that's happening here is I feel like the way that you could be getting inspired is by an actual people in your life that you're coming in contact with. And I feel like that's what's happening with the Hermit card and the Knight of Cups. I feel like that the Hermit is representing like things that you've been studying or thinking about. They're an actual person, like let's say a mentor, so someone that you see at a seminar, in a video, someone that you know personally, that you meet, someone that is showing a lot of wisdom, that is kind of like helping you. As I said, I feel like this kind of, it's almost like a mentor or guru. It could be a book you read or something, to that effect. But something could spur on that kind of inner creativity and inner desire in you. Okay. So for some of you, it's going to be that. For some of you, with this Knight of Cups, it's like this romantic dreamer energy, meaning that someone who is inspiring you to like live life on your own terms and to have the courage to go out and wear your heart on your sleeve and to be, to really move forward um, in a path of like creativity and like openness. And so I feel like these are like opportunities, and that's why the Ace of Pentacles, this is something that is being shown to you or something that is being like given to you. And as I said, for each of you, it's different. So I feel like actual people can be, inspiring you in some way. Now, the other way that this is playing out is if you look at your advice cards, you've got the Ace of Wands, and you've also got the Strength card. Okay, so really amazing. The way this can also play out is the Ace of Wands is simply a card of inspiration. You can either get the inspiration from someone outside of yourself, or it can come from within you. And I feel like, so really pay attention the first 2 weeks of what's inside you. Like, what are your dreams? What are your hopes? Like, I see a lot of you taking the first steps into moving into something that's, greater. Let's say it's something that, it's a hobby that you've been thinking about, like making into a business. And you just start taking like, the first 2 weeks of April, you start taking the first steps in moving toward that. You don't have to, even just a few steps. Or, if you wanted to be like a content creator, you could take some steps of like just moving toward that. Even like it's like baby steps, okay? But just doing something with that inspiration is going to get you a long way. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just like, they say it's cliche, but, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and it's true. So like you've taken the first step. And the thing is, when you do that, you're going to see that the more steps you take, the more you're working with the universe, and the universe is working with you to get you to where you need to be on your path, you know? It's a very magical thing that happens. Now, the other thing that can happen, this is really interesting, is the strength card. Is I feel like there is a lot of you that have in your life a cheerleader or cheerleaders, people that support you even when you don't believe in yourself. They believe in you. They're going to, this is very, I mean, it can't get much more, plain than this. You see the lion, okay, Leo, submitting to the tender touch of the maiden over here, and this is someone that is nurturing and supporting you. And I feel like a lot of you could be like, like you're getting this nurturing and this support, and it's inspiring you to action, to be like, yeah, I can do this. I can go out and go for my dreams, and I can, despite my fears, like just start moving forward. And I feel like that's a lot of you. There's these cheerleaders that you have in your life. Pay attention to them. They're trying to help you. They're trying to guide you, and they're very, very valuable. If you have one of these or more in your life, really, really cherish it, because it's very, very valuable, but it can be very inspiring. And even if you don't right off the bat think of a person like this, even it could be like a friend, or even just someone you run into, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and they say a kind word. Okay, that can be a similar type situation. They're being like a cheerleader. But yeah, this month, definitely, this is about, you're given the opportunity to really start moving toward that. Now, with the Ace of Pentacles, as I said, it's this month. There's themes of money, finances, and all of that. And the other thing that could be inspiring is you could be like, okay, I'm tired of struggling in this area of my life, and so I want to do more. And so that is also another area of inspiration. But the thing is, remember, you're moving toward Leo in the fifth house. You're moving toward empowering yourself, stepping out and sharing whatever your gift or gifts to the world. You're doing that, and that's your main focus in this lifetime. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, where I see where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading in the future, there's a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say be strong, go out there, share your gifts, and we will see you for the second half of April. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Virgo and or the 6th house. This is going to be your April 2024 tarot scope reading for the first half of April. Okay, really interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Ten of Pentacles. And when I'm seeing this, I'm seeing, this is family legacy in this reading. The Ten of Pentacles could be not only family legacy, but family wealth and security and whatnot, the way Pentacles are. But this is in this case is about like a family like legacy. Now, everybody that has their North Node in Virgo or the 6th house, or if they have their North Node in Pisces or the 12th house, okay, so that axis, uh, a lot of times have come from very, very, especially with their North Node in Virgo or the 6th house, very intense pasts, and not only in past lives, but a lot of times, many, many, many times in this life. So they might not have had, you might not have had the perfect family situation. There could have been a lot of, issues with that. Not for everybody, but for quite a few of you, there's like a lot of major, like family issues or things in your life. I always say that like one of the biggest, I guess you would say the most brave souls and the strongest souls I see are the people that can really kind of overcome the whole like North Node, South Node in either Virgo or Pisces. It's a very challenging thing, and I feel like there are people that have been working on this, and that, it's not an easy thing. Okay, so I have a lot of like feelings and compassion for this. But what this is saying is that what's trying to be worked on for you is that you're being given the opportunity to release things from the past in order to create your future. Because one of the things that I always see with this North Node is I see that sometimes it's really difficult to get over things and really intense things that have happened in the past. And I get it. Like, it's not easy. Like a lot of you went through some really intense things, and it's really hard to get over it. So one of the things that you can do, and that's where this card comes in, is that, remember, what you can do is you can try to say, okay, all this happened. I'm not going to deal with it right here at this point. You don't even have to like deal with it, but you could say, everything from my life right now, I want to create the best life that I can, my own personal family legacy, whatever that family may be, whether it's you by yourself, whether it's you with a partner, with your own family. You can just temporarily, because a lot of people say, oh, just get rid of it. Okay, you could just temporarily lock it in a shed while you say, I'm going to build this life. I'm going to build my life legacy type of thing. And I feel like that's what this first 2 weeks, a lot of you could have the opportunity, and you could realize where it's like, it's time for me to, make the best situation I can right now with what I have. You might have to deal with whatever's locked in the shed later. That's fine, okay? But one of the ways to deal with it is to literally start putting your energy toward building that life. Like, for example, let's say someone had a really tough time with their parents or their siblings or at school or whatever it was. You could say, like, okay, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be the best parent I can be. I'm going to be the best friend I can be. I'm going to be the best person I can be. I'm going to build the best family I can build. So you're putting your energy into building. Okay. Now, what are your timeline cards? You've got the 8 of Swords reversed. You've got the 4 of Swords upright, and you've got the 5 of Pentacles reversed. Now, starting with the 8 of Swords reversed, okay? This is about releasing these mental memories, and only you have the power to do that. This card is very, very clear. The swords that are encircling this person, it's not a full circle. They can walk out at any time. The bonds around the eyes and the hands are loose. That was drawn that way specifically to show that this is a kind of a mental prison of our own making, and we can release ourselves at any time. We're not being held captive by someone else, but by our own mind, okay? So that's part of the releasing. You can just simply walk away from it. Now, how do you walk away from it? Okay. The two things that are here are the 4 of Swords. This is about contemplation. This is about pausing and contemplation, and about, okay, where is it that I want to focus my energy? Do I want to focus it on the past, or do I want to focus it on building my future and making the best life that I can, make? I'm not telling you that whatever happened, you can. I'm not telling you to magically wand it away. If you can, that's great, okay? But I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, can you just simply lock it in a barn or the shed just temporarily? Just not deal with it and start focusing the energy on that. That, on your current life situation. That's what kind of this is saying. So with this 5 of Pentacles reversed, what it's telling me is that a lot of you have resources around you that you can tap into, whether that be, organizations, whether that be friends, other people around you, friends, coworkers, or whatever, that you can begin to see that they can help you in building this life. Like you have allies basically. And I feel like a lot of you are going to be able to see that. Sometimes when we're in situations, that are intense or whatever, or we're too much in the past, we can't see, that's the thing. We can't see the forest for the trees, right? So we can't see the resources around us. And I feel like that's what this kind of pause and contemplation, a lot of you are going to begin to realize this. And just remember that you are working on creating your best life now. You can deal with the past, just lock it away, as I said, temporarily. And that way you're not having to worry about, I got to get rid of it and it's still in me. Just like put it away, put the sheets over it, put it in storage for a bit, and we can deal with that later. That's one way to kind of deal with it. But as I said, if you can get rid of it, yes, that's positive, right? So what are your two advice cards? So you've got the Two of Wands reversed and you've got the Four of Wands. And what I'm feeling like is the Two of Wands is saying, even though, what you're working toward is for your future, in other words, what you're doing by, working on your legacy is for your future. You're working on your situation, strengthening your family, your friend structure, you're becoming stronger for yourself and those around you, right? Even though it's for your future, you don't want to focus too much on the future. What you want to focus on is more in the present. You're doing your work in the present, and that's what you're building, and that's what the Four of Wands is saying. This is the present, moment. The Four is structure. It's home. It's family. It's like solid structure. Okay, and so you're being asked to, you know, take this energy and build in the future, like release things from the past, or at least like lock them away for a while you're building on your present. And I feel like a lot of you have a really great opportunity this first 2 weeks of April to kind of like do this and like move past things. And as I said, it's simply a matter of, you don't really have to worry about solving everything that happened to you in the past, but try to think about just putting it aside. Like I said, storing it, locking it up, and then focusing the energy on like what you're doing right now. And then, you can come back to it, because a lot of times what I'm feeling like is when you are putting your energy into the present, when you actually go back to whatever's in storage, all that baggage from the past, it's not going to be as bad as you think, especially if you've done this, work of putting the energy into the present. So that's kind of what I'm feeling for the first 2 weeks, that there's this opportunity to do that, to move forward. And that's what you're being asked to do, is create the life and legacy for yourself that you wish you had in the past. Help work toward that in the present, even if it's just, I'm going to release, chaos. I'm going to release despair. I'm going to like try to live more in, in a heart space and whatnot. And I'm going to try to not let all of those things come in that from the past, because you're going to lock them away. Anyway, really interesting month for you. Let me know in the comments how everything played out. If you have any questions, please feel free, because this is very interesting. Reading for you, North Nodes in Virgo, or the sixth house. So I'd like to see how it kind of played out. But anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, to see where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading in the future, there's a link to my website in the description box below. But with that, I'll say thank you. Make it a great month. We'll see you for the second half of April in a couple of weeks. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Libra and or the seventh house. This is your April 2024 tarot scope reading for the first half of April. Okay, really interesting. So, The theme card that popped out for the reading for the first 2 weeks of April is the reversed Four of Cups. And what I'm feeling like for you North Nodes in Libra or the seventh house is there's a feeling of a lot of you are coming out of like emotional complacency. You're coming out of some emotional and energetic discontent. And so some of you are, and then some of you are still kind of in that energy, but it wants to heal itself. It wants to like work itself out of you. Okay, so I feel like a lot of you are at different levels, but what the energy is that you could be feeling like a turning point of coming out of this feeling of, like I said, like emotional complacency or kind of discontent. And if you're not, there's things we're going to talk about in the reading that's going to help kind of move this along. So let's look at your timeline cards. You've got the reversed Ace of Wands. You've got the Five of Pentacles, that's also reversed. And you've got the reversed Two of Wands. So we'll start with the Ace of Wands down here. Part of all of this is that there is this feeling of, it's like a lack of energy that a lot of you have been dealing with. So we're talking about not only physical energy, mental and emotional energy, but overall like energy, definitely like physical energy. That and you're going to start to feel this start to come back. And if, as I said, if it's not coming back yet, it soon will. And there's some things that you can do to kind of help that along. One of the things you can do to help this along is with this Five of Pentacles. What a lot of you are starting to realize is you're realizing that there is help and resources that are around you through people and different situations, in your life. Like, in other words, there are people and institutions, and there's help around you that a lot of you are going to start to realize that you can kind of tap into. But a lot of the energy, like the reason that there's been this kind of emotional complacency and discontent, is a lot of you may have been feeling like, there's no one I can count on or lean on, or have to depend always on myself, on everything for myself and by myself. And but a lot of you are starting to realize that there are people around you, whether it be like a singular person or groups of people that are there to help you. Um, the other thing that's happening too is with the Two of Wands reversed is you're being asked to focus more in the here and now, in your life, in a situation, and not worry about tomorrow so much. You're being asked to kind of focus in on the here and now. And a lot of you are realizing that, because what can happen with this energy is, um, with the North Node in Libra or the seventh house, you're dealing with a South Node of Aries or the first house. And what I notice with this energy a lot is it's so forward moving and forward projecting that it can kind of, it's like it doesn't stop to smell the roses. It misses things. Like I notice that people with this energy um, are trying to push forward always quickly. And it's a great thing. It is your gift. People that have this North Node in Libra and or the seventh house have a gift of, like, most of you are like really good at getting stuff done and attacking projects, and but what can happen a lot of times is it can move forward so quickly that it misses things around, like it misses details of, oh, there's help here, or it misses the subtleties of life. And so what's going to end up happening is, and the reason that all this happened is, you got to this point because you're being asked to like slow down. You're being asked to focus in on who you are in relation to the other people in your life, so your relationships, and you have help out there. Um, and as I said, the reason that this happens is a a person or people won't ask for help if they don't need it. Like, so there has to be a lot of times when we're working with our north node, some sort of a need has to arise, and the need could get so great that it kind of forces us into our, our evolutionary path, so to speak. Okay. And so what is happening is a lot of you are, as I said, I feel like at different levels. Some of you are coming out of this energy and you've realized it. Others are going to realize it. But really, the key to remember here is that this will pass. And what's going to, the two things that is going to help you through this is, don't push forward too fast into the future and worry about what's happening tomorrow, what's happening down the street or whatever. Like, focus in right now on your life. Focus in on the relationships that you have that you can lean on in this lifetime. What value is it there? Because you could be missing something that is very important in that regard. Now, going along with that, here are your advice cards. You've got the King of Cups upright, and you've got the 10 of Cups reversed. Now, this is an interesting energy. I feel like the King of Cups energy, because as I always say, if you watch my readings, the court cards, King, Queen, Knight, Page, can represent people, actual people, or energies. In this case, I feel like this is an actual person. Now, also, the court cards, the King doesn't necessarily mean a male or any specific gender or sex. Okay, they're just a different flavor. So a king card, King of Cups, or a Queen of Cups are just slightly different flavors of a certain energy, in a person. And so I feel like there's going to be this person with this strong King of Cups energy. So most likely a strong, like, water sign signature, which would be, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. Someone who is, emotionally intelligent, or very very intuitive. And I feel like they're helping you to play a part in this. It could be a family member, it could be someone you're in a close relationship with, it could be a friend, or even someone that you just meet, but someone that's helping you to align your path with like more emotional integrity, like more emotional attunement to your life. Now, the reason that the 10 of Cups is reversed is because a lot of the things that you've gone through, um, that have maybe caused you to not focus in on the emotional side of life a lot of times, and the importance of that and the importance of the relationships, could be from like past. So a lot of you, there could be like issues of past family, issues with, parents and siblings, or even in romantic relationships. And so that, I think, is something that is healing. But the whole thing is, I think that what this energy is, this person, and this also could be multiple people, but we'll say like this person with this energy is helping you to maybe see your emotional past in a new light, or in a new way, type of a thing, and realize that, even though sometimes in life there are people that we can't depend on, it doesn't mean that we can't depend on, anybody. Okay. And so it's this kind of an energy that, you're going to be working through for the first half of April. And like, as I said, all you want to do is just like go with it. It could be very uncomfortable for you because, with your south node in Aries, or the first house, a lot of you are very, attuned to energy, especially like physical energy, and you don't like to feel down at all, whether that be emotional, mental, or physical at all. And so it can be uncomfortable. But remember, what you want to do with that energy is you want to see, like, who can help me with, who can lend a hand to me, okay, and make that connection. And when you do that, I feel like most of you are going to start to see as you move through April that there are people and there are resources around you that are there to help you, because in this lifetime you're here to partner with other people. You're here for partnerships. You're here for connection and relationships. You're not the lone wolf in this lifetime. And so that's what you're learning with all of this, okay? But yeah, really interesting energy. Just remember to go with it. It could seem a little uncomfortable, but it's going to work itself out. The more you can um, strengthen the relationships around you and find out, who it is that you can count on in some way, um, whoever that person or people are, you're going to get that strength back. But it's nothing that you can really do yourself. It's not something that you can't solve this by yourself, is what I'm seeing. It has to be through the help of other people. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, so it could feel a little uncomfortable, but it's gonna pass. It's gonna pass. But you got to find out where it is you can count on people emotionally, and physically, and mentally, for that matter. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, where I could see where your life has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading on your timeline, there's a link to my website in the description box below. Go out there, make it a great month, lean on people and find out those that you can rely on. And we will see you on some more videos for the second half of April. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Scorpio and or the 8th house. This is going to be your April 2024 tarot scope reading for the first half of April. Okay, really interesting. So the theme card that popped out for the first 2 weeks of April is the Six of Wands. And I'm getting that for a lot of you, there is an energy that's around you that can be an energy of possible success, possible winning. You also have the Wheel of Fortune upright up here. And so for a lot of you, you're on an upswing. And the reason that I feel like a lot of you are on the upswing is I feel like a lot of you have done a really good job in working through your path and really working on the emotional side of your life, and really delving into the complexity of your own emotions and those around you, that you've kind of done a good job, a lot of you, doing that. For some of you, there could be some lingering worries that I'll get into in a minute, but it's something that it's like a leftover thing of what you've been working through. So some of you have worked through this energy, and then others are working through it, and so there could be like a little bit of a lingering worry and doubt. But overall, the energy that you want to tap into is there is this energy of winning and success around you, and it's because of a lot of the work that you've done. Astrologically, there's been a lot of movement with the key planets in your North Node, okay, Pluto and Mars, for the past several months. And so a lot of you have really, I can see, taken advantage of it in a good way. So we'll get into your timeline cards. So as I said, you have the Wheel of Fortune upright. You've got the Ace of Cups upright. And then you've got the Nine of Swords, okay? And so as I said, with this energy of the Wheel of Fortune, it's due to the fact that a lot of you have explored the complexity of your own emotions and others around you. And so it's kind of, a lot of you have kind of been through the ringer. You've been able to face, drama in different situations and kind of get through that. But there's a lingering energy for some of you where with this Nine of Swords, there could be some stress and anxiety regarding all of this. all you have to remember is that the reason that this anxiety comes up is that at your core, a lot of you that have this north node don't you want like things to be very simple and straightforward in your life. You don't want to deal with the complexity and drama of, different things like that are, work relationships, romantic relationships. Like a lot of it just seems like you just want things to be a little bit more cut and dry and simple. And then when life isn't that way, that's what causes the anxiety. But what it is the way to get through it, like a lot of the, you that have gone through this already, you've said, okay, I'm going to face this. I'm going to look into the complexity of my own emotions and others and the relationships around me. And what you've learned from it is actually made you stronger. But the weird thing is, it's like they say, um, when there's a storm, they say like it's actually smart to turn into the storm and not like run away from it. Okay. And it's kind of like that's what you've learned to do when you go into that energy and you're able to face it and try to understand it. That's when you're getting your strength. But it would seem that it wouldn't be that way. Obviously, um, intuitively would say we're going to run from trouble and drama and all of that. Okay. But when you kind of go into it to deal with it, that's when you're getting this strength. Okay. Yeah. And so like what can happen here is that if you're able to kind of do this, and as I said, even if you're feeling a little like anxious the first 2 weeks, with various things, if you can kind of go into it and deal with it, there's a lot of like very lucky, strong, winning type energy that is there for you. Okay. So your two advice cards, you've got the King of Swords reversed, and you've got the Two of Pentacles. One of the things that could be happening is, with this Two of Pentacles, is there could be like a lot of worry with money, finances, other tangible things in our life like work and salary or investments or anything that is things of value. Okay, and it's kind of testing you that to see if it, and this could be causing the anxiety. It's kind of testing you to see if it can distract you from your path. And the other thing is that with this King of Swords reversed, it's like an overuse of kind of like mental energy, and that's where this anxiety, could be coming in. And so you're being told to basically, and not to worry, not because worrying is like a waste of energy. What you want to do is you want to go into this and take the best part of your south node in Taurus and or the second house, and as I said before, like kind of face the storm, go into this issue and don't let it like just go into this state, like have you go into the state of just worry, because it's like a waste of energy. And when you can go, so how do you go into it? You say, okay, what's going on here? What are the root causes? What do I need to do? Really like delve into this situation, whatever it is that's happening for the first 2 weeks, and delve into it like you're an investigator. Okay. Scorpio, North Node in Scorpio, or the eighth house, and which rules investigators, detectives, researchers, finding things that are hidden. Go into it. Start digging what's going on, as opposed to I'm just worried about this. I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to walk away from it. So you just kind of go into the energy. And so you're being told here to not just waste your energy and stress on it, but go in emotionally with like, okay, how can I solve this? Like, what's going on here? What do I most need to know about this? And you just like are going into this like an investigator. And what you're going to find is that if you're one of the ones that is, kind of experiencing some of the anxiety, it's going to go away very quickly. Those of you that have already kind of moved through this energy, this is also a heads up to like not go back into like overthinking and worrying and stress, and don't waste that energy. But as I said before, I'm getting this energy of going into the storm, like just walking into it, looking at it, and not being afraid to like really lay everything out on the table and kind of like look at it for what it is. And when you do that, you're going to see that you know it's something that's very solvable for you. But if it's not dealt with, and it's like I'm just going to walk away from this, I'm just going to worry about it, but it's kind of like the boogeyman in the closet or whatever. So you want to like open the closet, go in there and investigate, and you're going to see that it's not as big a deal as you might imagine it to be. But yeah, like really take advantage of this, because I really feel like for a lot of you, you're going to be able to take advantage of this really positive like upswing of energy. And a lot of you have done really good work in really going into this North Node path of Scorpio and or the eighth house, really kind of going in there and opening up yourself to the complexity of the emotional life and what it means to be human. So yeah, it's a very like winning energy for the first 2 weeks. So don't let it go to waste. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful too and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, where I see where your path has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading in the future, there's a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. Make it a great first half of April, and we'll see you for the second half on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Sagittarius and or the ninth house. This is going to be your April 2024 tarot scope reading for the first half of April. Okay, really interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed Ace of Swords. And what I'm feeling like for the first 2 weeks with you is that you're being asked to pay attention to your communication and other people's communication, and also your actions and their actions. So communications and actions that you want to look at for yourself and for other people in this case. And the reason for that is that you are the first 2 weeks you're being shown something. You're being shown something that can help you along your path. But this in particular is something that is helping to, the feeling I'm getting is like solidify you in a direction that's for your highest good, type of a thing. So let me be more specific. So your timeline cards are, you've got the Devil card, you've got the Page of Pentacles reversed, and you've got the Six of Cups. Now, if you've watched my channel at all and my readings, I always explain the so-called scary cards like, Death, the Devil, the Tower card. Okay, they're not bad cards per se, but there are certain energies. And what I'm seeing here is that this Devil card can represent it can represent fear. It can also represent like kind of obsessions and addictions. And I feel like that there is something, it's almost like it can be like almost like the boogeyman in our lives sometimes. What I'm feeling like is that for a lot of you, you're going to be dealing with something that is, it could be like an old fear, and that it could be like kind of resurfacing, and you're supposed to uh, face it. But what you're supposed to do is you're being asked not to necessarily like take a wrong action or say the wrong thing. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're taking the proper action, because the feeling that I'm getting is when this kind of like old fear surfaces, it could cause you to like just immediately pick, you know, a way to go, like a direction, without really thinking about it. And so you're being asked to really like pay attention to what's going on, pay attention to what other people or whoever else is involved in this and what they're saying, and then you watch what you say in your actions, and to be a little bit more careful. Now, what it has to do with is it has to do with something that is from your past, and it could involve something regarding like money. There could be, as I said, for some of you, because when the devil card comes up, it could be like there could be some sort of um, addictions that you're dealing with, whether you know yourself or other people in this situation, and that could be also like addictions to way of being, ways of thinking, addictions to not only like physical substances, but there's some sort of it's like having something that is, like I said, almost like an overarching kind of fear and anxiety that also can be like an addiction of like kind of being addicted to our own like fears, and it could involve like money or things of of a financial nature. But here's the thing: I think that you're working through it with this six of cups. This is your emotional past, and I feel like there is going to be some sort of like resolution where things this thing from the past is going to finally make sense to you. It's almost like when we look back on our past a lot of times, and when we think about things, and I know we can all relate to this, where we've gone through something in our life, and a lot of times we get to a certain point where we're able to look back at it, and enough time has passed, and also we've gained more kind of wisdom, and we look back and we're like, oh, I understand it now, or I understand it at least more. And I feel like that's what this is involving. It's involving like you kind of looking back at what happened, and it's helping you to understand the present moment of whatever's going on. But you're being told to not, like, when the situation kind of arises the first 2 weeks, kind of this like old fear and anxiety or something, whatever this issue happens to be, not to take um, too quick of action or to say something too quickly, but to like, because if you're able to pause, I feel like you're going to be able to, like, if you're able to sit with it, you'll be able to see like, okay, I see why this happened, and you're going to get a lot of clarity from it. Now, what you're going to be able to get from this ultimately is you're going to be able to get peace of mind, and the peace of mind part is also going to come because when you're putting this all together, it's going to show like, oh, okay, I can see now where my path has been, and I can see, okay, certain mistakes were made and roads I went down or whatever, but where I'm at now. And what that is that when you can see where you've been to where you're at now, it gives you a trajectory of where you want to go. So see, that's why I said like you're going to be able to see like your soul path is going to be illuminated more. So let me kind of explain that again really quick. When we are in a certain position in our life, like we're standing somewhere, we're driving a car, a boat that's like navigating, they're they have lots of different ways they can go, okay? But when they look at where they've been and where they're at now, they're seeing a trajectory, and so they realize, well, if I continue down this route, this trajectory. Is it going to take me where I want to go? And so a lot of times when you can see, okay, this all happened in the past, I can see where I'm at now, and you're like, oh, okay, I need to make certain changes and adjustments to my path. And I can see that so that knowledge of the past is helping you to create a more correct path to the future. So that's what this is all, regarding, is it's helping you to get a better trajectory for your optimal timeline. Okay. And so, yeah, it can be super, super helpful. But as I said before, you don't want to act too quickly or speak too quickly until you can kind of see things more clearly. Because if you just are able to like really think about the situation in its entirety, you'll get this clarity, as opposed to just going, down another path and have it not be that optimal timeline. Now, your advice cards you've got the King of Cups and you've got the King of Pentacles reversed. So interesting energy here. I feel like these are energies and not actual, people in your life. And what this is saying here is that you're being asked to tap in. Part of this that's a huge thing is tapping into your natural intuition with the King of Cups. Because the really interesting thing about the North Node in Sagittarius, or the ninth house, or if you look at the other side of Sagittarius, which is Gemini, or the third house, you don't normally in astrology or in, you don't normally think of them as being highly intuitive, but you are. Okay. You have a natural intuition and gut instinct. And so if you are able to tap into that and see, your intuition is going to tell you. Now here's the catch. The King of Pentacles reversed. This is about what is tangible, what, the five senses, what I can, see, hear, taste, touch, smell, whatever is tangible, physical. So you don't want to make decisions based on what might seem practical, what might seem logical. You want to figure all of this out through your intuition. And that's how this is all going to kind of come together, because intuitively, if you're able to look at this without just saying like, well, I'm going to make a decision based on my, natural like senses. I'm not going to like really think about what I feel about like my gut instinct and my intuition. That's where you can kind of like maybe make a wrong decision about this, whatever it is. But the reason that this is all surfacing, as I said, is because it's to get you on a better trajectory and to train you to trust your own instinct and intuition to see this for what it is. So that's all you have to do, is just recognize this. And when what you're doing this first 2 weeks is you're looking at getting on a better trajectory for your timeline. And that part of that is investigating how it is you've gotten to this place. Okay. So it could be a little uncomfortable kind of like dealing with this, because there could be like, some fear and anxiety that comes up, and there could be like, a little bit of stress. But if you can sit with it, try to work through this with your intuition. What does my gut say? Follow your gut instinct and your heart, and you'll be in a way better position. But yeah, anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. If you have any questions about this reading or anything else, please reach out to me in the comments. But as I said, I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed where I can see where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading in the future, there's a link to my website in the description box below. But with that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more readings for the second half of April. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Capricorn and or the 10th house. This is going to be your April 2024 tarot scope reading for the first half of April. Okay, so yeah, interesting. The card, the theme card that popped out for you is the Moon card, and this represents your South Node. Your South Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. Okay, the Moon. Um, And I feel like what's happening is there are some things that are in your life that have kind of been hidden or obscured from you that are starting to come to light. So things that you're learning about yourself and your path, and that are, like as I said, they're starting to be shown to you. Okay, so you're starting to realize a lot of things that were once maybe hidden from you, and you're getting these realizations. Now, your timeline cards are, you have the Three of Wands, you've got the Queen of Wands reversed, and you've got the Six of Swords. And what I'm feeling like is that the one of the things that's coming to light is you are starting to have realizations of where it is you've like invested your energy, and a lot of it is has to do, this particular for the first 2 weeks particularly has to deal with um close relationships in your life. And I feel like a lot of you are starting to learn, one of the things is that there's relationships in your life that could be um like draining your energy a bit. That's what this reverse Queen of Wands is. And I feel like a lot of you are starting to realize that. And there's different, you're learning, each of you is, it's different, but you're learning different ways of dealing with it. For some of you, it's like, you're just like, if it's someone that that's close, a family member, you just have to deal with it, and you obviously can't just walk away from certain things in your life, but you can walk away energetically. So I feel like there's this moving away from energy that has been like a drain on you, and it's like almost like a draining of the energy, and you're realizing like, okay, I see how I've given like maybe my power, or I've allowed this to kind of happen. And ultimately what you're doing is, whether it's actually physically moving away from a situation or even just energetically, because like for example, like top of my head, there could be an issue, let's say, with a parent, okay? And obviously, like, and we could find out like, wow, okay, like maybe this isn't the most healthy relationship or whatever. Now, for most of us, like you can't just physically like cut someone out of your life a lot of times. Now, for some of you that may be appropriate, appropriate. But what we can do sometimes is, even if it's not like we're dealing with someone that's close to us, we can energetically walk away and not like let it affect us, like I'm not playing that game anymore type of a thing. So there's different ways of dealing with it, but I feel like whether you're physically moving away or whether it's just energetically or mentally or emotionally moving away from the situation, there is healing. But one of the reasons why this is happening is, with this Three of Wands, is I think that a lot of you are starting to like think about like, you know think about your future, where it is you want to go, what it is you want to do, and you're seeing that this whatever this situation is, it's not helping to get you where you ultimately want to go, and you're seeing this kind of an energy drain for what it is. Um, and the reason that this is happening too is, remember, what you're doing in this lifetime with your Capricorn North Node or North Node in the 10th house is, you are being asked to venture out into the world in some way, to become more like independent, to become um, more attuned to your future and your success, okay, whatever that means. And a lot of you have almost like a situation where, as I said, there could be this energy drained in this relationship. And I feel like you're realizing, okay, I can't do this anymore. And I feel like you're going to be able to deal with it. And as I said, you're not necessarily going to have to physically move necessarily away from this person or this relationship, but you'll at least be able to move away energetically. But as I said, for some of you, that may be appropriate. Now, your advice cards are, you've got the Fool reversed, and you've got the Two of Cups reversed. And what this is saying is, the Two of Cups reversed, this is the relationship that I'm talking about. Okay, there's an emotional connection, but you're realizing that, there are a lot of people throughout our life that we have an emotional connection with, that might not necessarily be best for us or them, you know what I mean? But there's still this emotional connection. And so this is the realization of all of this. And as I said, that it could be kind of, you feel like it could be hindering your future, or it's definitely like maybe blocking your energy in some way, or dampening your energy. Okay, so that's what this is saying. Like, you need to recognize whatever this relationship or relationships are. And it could be more than one person. It could be, like there could be two people involved in yourself, or three, not necessarily one. But you have to investigate that. And I think that the first 2 weeks, all of you are going to figure this out, and you're going to know what I'm talking about. Now, the Fool reverse is interesting. The Fool is a good card. It doesn't mean the person's a fool. Okay, what it is, it's an energy of childlike exuberance and enthusiasm and courage, like stepping out into the world. Okay, and what you're realizing is that, along with this Three of Wands, that this relationship, it could be causing like fear and anxiety that you didn't realize, that's keeping you kind of stuck, or like the fear of stepping out on your own into your own life and your own energy, type of a thing. Even in subtle ways, it could be like, for example, an older sibling that is always like, like a negative Nancy or a negative Nick or whatever it is, that is just and kind of like putting doubts in your mind or whatever it is. Okay, but that's like, it can dampen that natural courage and exuberance that we have, a lot of us have when we're younger, when we're just like, we're going to go for it, and so I feel like all of this is coming back. Ultimately, you're moving through this in a better stronger position. And you're going to know how to deal with it. Some relationships, for a lot of them, you're not going to need to like actually physically, cut people out of your life. Okay, for a lot of you, okay, it's just going to be standing in your own strength and your own independence, type of a thing. But anyway, that's what the first 2 weeks is. Recognize this. And if you're watching this reading, okay, and if you're like, I don't know what he's talking about, start investigating. Like, look deeper. What relationships in your life, and as I said, it could be family, or even like friends, or romantic relationships. What relationships, when you dig in a little deeper, could be keeping you not ultimately in your own power or in your strength and your energy? What could they be sapping your energy? Just like look a little deeper. But I think most of you will be able to recognize this or these relationships in your life and be able to kind of pinpoint them. But if not, like, look a little deeper, and you're going to see, because this is all part of you becoming, your best self, like your highest path, you stepping into your power, into your strength. And when you do that, you're going to see like it's a complete game changer for you. Okay. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. If you have any questions about this reading or anything else, reach out to me in the comments. If you would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, where I look at where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be headed in the future, there's a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos for the second half of April. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house. This is going to be your April 2024 Tarot reading for the first half of April. Okay, so the card that popped out for the first half of April, first 2 weeks, is the reverse death card. Now, if you watch my channel at all, everyone knows it are my regular viewers. The so-called scary cards like death, the devil, the tower, and so on aren't scary. They're just energies. So what death represents is it's about transformation. And it's reversed here, okay? So it's about something that's transforming, but that is not transforming, or it's not changing into something that it needs to change into. Okay, so it's resisting transformation. And what I think it is that, okay, a lot of you, in the first 2 weeks, there is a relationship in your life that is in need of some sort of transformation. And I'm getting there's a stubborn energy around this transformation or lack thereof, that it's not able to transform. So let's get into your timeline cards. So you've got the reversed Four of Wands, you've got the reversed Lovers card, and you've got the King of Pentacles. Now, the Lovers card will start reversed. Is that this is telling me that, okay, there is a relationship in your life that is in need of transformation, that isn't transforming. Now, the Lovers card represents, yes, it's obviously, it could be romantic, relationships, romantic partner, significant other, yes. It could also not be a relationship that is really important in our life, but not necessarily romantic, okay? So it can be other relationships in our life. The reason that the Lovers card would come up, let's say this didn't represent a significant other or a romantic relationship. Let's say it represented a close friend or a family member or even like a work situation. The reason that the Lovers card would come up is because this is a karmic relationship. This is a relationship that has reverberations of the past and past lives. It's, like I said, it's karmic. And the reason I say that is because, you have the Archangel Raphael up here. Okay. So this is it's a karmic situation. That's why it would show up as opposed to, for example, the reversed Two of Cups, which is a different sort of a relationship. Okay. So this relationship is karmic in nature, that you're working through whatever this is. And I feel like there could feel like with this reversed, Four of Wands, like there's some instability in that. It could be like a lack of celebration, or a celebration that didn't happen, but also it's like a lack of stability. And the reason I say I'm seeing a stubbornness is with this King of Pentacles here. This represents all the earth signs, okay? So it represents, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, right? And so I feel like there's an energy, and it could actually be a person in this situation. It could be even you, even though your North Node is, in Aquarius, and or the 11th house, you could be the earth sign, or the other person or parties involved could be there's a lot of earth energy, and it can be very kind of like stuck and, stubborn. The other thing that this is, that it could be, is the Lover's card could actually represent our relationship to ourselves, like our self-love, okay? Because even though, we are a singular person, okay, we have an aspect of ourselves is like always kind of looking at our own situation. Like there could be, like, this could be self-love too, or like lack thereof. Now, what wants to transform is there are some things that it needs to transform, because it's causing, there's something that's like very burdensome on your life situation. Okay, you and the other person, it's like a very heavy weight to carry. Okay, so your advice cards here, down here, you've got the 10 of Wands. Okay, so this is a very, it's like a struggle. Okay, it's like a struggle, and it's like stubborn, and it's like pushing a really heavy object that's like stuck in the mud. It's just really, really stuck in there, and it's becoming very, very burdensome. Okay. Um, the other thing too is that with your other advice card, the Two of Swords here, um, it's like this relationship needs to transform, because I'm feeling like it's gone as far as it can go, to where it's like, okay, it's now or never. I feel like some of these relationships that a lot of you are dealing with can be transformed, but you're at the point where it's like, or some of them can't. But I'm feeling like there's this like stuck point. You're at this point with this Two of Swords of kind of like an impasse. It's something where it's not going anywhere unless it transforms, and it can transform. The key is about stubbornness. One or more people or parties in this situation has to make the appropriate moves and appropriate changes in this situation. What those changes are um, is going to be, different for each of you. You're going to have to figure out what the appropriate course of action is. But really, what you want to do is, when you are going to know when you watch this reading and you think about, as I said, this relationship. It could be work, it could be family, it could be friends, it could be a romantic relationship, but there's a relationship that has to transform in some way, and you're going to know what that is, and you're going to see that it could, it's like almost like a stubbornness or an unwillingness for both people or parties to make the necessary changes. Um, but you're going to know what this is, and the key here is, it's not to know what to do, but it's first to figure out what relationship or relationships this is in your life, and then to say, okay, realize that it needs transformation. So when you look at your life and you look at this relationship and you see that it needs transformation, you'll know the appropriate action to take. But there has to be some sort of action. It's like there's like this blockage here, okay? But the reason that this is happening too is that this is freeing you up. When you recognize this and you're able to work through this, and you're able to help move this stuck relationship, this stuck object that's in the mud, and you're able to like move it along, it's like freeing up this whole other area of your life. And this is like a big test for you to not only recognize this, have the courage to say, okay, like, yeah, I got to change this. Okay, it can't keep going on like this. And when you do that, it's freeing up all of this energy in your life that you can use to really kind of propel you into a better future. But yeah, this is a huge thing for you to recognize for the first 2 weeks. Figure out what what it is that what relationship or relationships in your life are causing this kind of like blockage or whatever needs to transform, and figure it out, because it's like like the Ten of Wands here. When you figure this out, it's going to be like this burden lifted off your back, and that's this whole energy is going to change in your life. And when we have this influx of energy in our life, it's better for our health, our mental well-being, physical well-being, our emotional well-being. But yeah, you're going to get a huge benefit from doing this, and so will they, whoever this L is in your relationship. Transforming doesn't necessarily mean it has to end, but it could be like, let's say you're dealing with like a situation of like a family member or a friend that's like a frenemy or whatever, and it's like it's like this drain on you, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. And sometimes when you begin to move this, and it could be talking things through or whatever, setting boundaries, whatever it is, it's for their best interest too. So it could, transform in a good way. The relationship could transform where there's, deeper emotional connection. There's, yeah, it just, for each of you, it's going to be different. But first thing is just really recognize what these relationships or this relationship is, and be able to like, work on getting it unstuck, type of a thing. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. If you have any questions about this reading or anything else, feel free to reach out to me in the comments. And if you would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, where I could see where your timeline has been, where it's at now, and where it could be heading in the future, there's a link to my website in the description box below. But with that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on the next half of April on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Pisces and or the 12th house. This is going to be your April 2024 Tarot Scope reading for the first half of April. Okay, really interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Four of Swords. And what I'm getting for you for the first half of April is there's this energy that wants to happen of like meditation and contemplation. Um, there's there's an energy in the air that it could be causing us, because we're the first 2 weeks of April, we're in a Mercury retrograde, and we're going to be right in the middle of the eclipses, and there could be this energy of like a restless energy, because we've got the a major solar eclipse um, coming up in April 8th. So there's this like restlessness. But what I'm getting for you North Nodes in Pisces and or the 12th house is take time during these weeks of like stillness, meditation, contemplation. What are you contemplating? Well, your life and where you're at right now, but take time of pausing. There's a very big value in of this like meditation and contemplation for you for the first 2 weeks. So what is it you're contemplating? I think a lot of you is it's shown on your timeline. You're looking at, your emotional past, and a lot of it has to do with like your past in regards to your family, to how you grew up, like your family legacy. For a lot of you, it's like past relationships. So your timeline cards are the Five of Cups reversed. You've got the Ten of Pentacles, and you've got the Empress. So the end game for you in this, and what you can get out of contemplation, is you're ultimately, the end goal is self-empowerment. Okay, the Empress here. It's about you stepping into your power. The funny thing is that, when we think of stepping into power, or, like taking power, you normally think of like aggressively walking into power and stepping into it and having to like assert your power. Okay. But the funny thing is about this is that you're being told that you, by pausing and contemplation and meditation on where you are now, where you've been, is helping you stepping into your power. Now, where you've been is, you have the Five of Cups reversed here. Now, remember, all the five cards reversed are positive. This is you making sense of some things that have happened emotionally in your past, and they could be things that of all sorts, not only family, but basically your past. It's like the Ten of Pentacles is not only family legacy, but your personal legacy. And you're looking at your past, and you're looking at where you've been, and the contemplation part is, it's helping you to make sense of everything that's happened. You're making sense of it, and you're seeing how you've grown. You're seeing how ways that, you might not be or feel like you are ultimately where it is you want to be. I mean, no one, I don't think, ever feels that way, but you might really feel like, I'm nowhere near where I want or need to be. But when you contemplate, you figure out like, wow, okay, where I've come from and where I'm at now as a person, and what you've gone through, and what you've learned about yourself, and what you've learned about life, and what you learned about, your family, and your all of your relationships and whatnot. That is part of that self empowerment, because you're like, okay, yeah, I'm really seeing this. Like, I've really learned a lot, and that is part of this, stepping into your power. Now, your advice cards, you've got the Six of Swords reversed, and you've got the Ace of Cups. What you're being told here to do is, with the Six of Swords, is this is different. It's a similar energy, but different. Like, when you look at the Six of Swords, this is about like moving away from troubles and traumas of the past, moving away, going off to better shores. Okay, but this is a very like mental card. It's similar to the Eight of Cups, which is moving away, emotionally, making sense of your emotional past. But what it is that what you're being told to do is, you're being told not to like mentally move away from things in your past, but you want to make sense of them emotionally, the Ace of Cups. So you're being asked to think about them and process them, as opposed to saying, okay, I'm done with this, I'm getting on this boat and I'm leaving, type of a thing. So you're being told to process them, and you're processing them emotionally by, again, the Four of Swords here, by meditation, contemplation, reviewing. Okay, and again, you have the swords up here, so you're putting um your mind to kind of at rest, and you're processing it emotionally. You're saying, where have I been, what have everything that's transpired. And you're going to see that all of you that are looking at this are going to see like the changes that you've made. Even if you don't feel, as I said, you're at where you need to be in life, you're going to see that you've made progress, and you're going to feel good about that progress. And all of this is part of creating that emotional intelligence, and tapping into the magic of life, of the emotional realm, and really kind of getting into it. And ultimately, as I said, with the Empress, this is what you're moving toward. You're moving toward like self empowerment. And you're going to see that no matter where you're at currently in your life, that all of you have made and have learned certain things about yourself and about your life, and that you should be proud of things that you've overcome and things that you've accomplished, even if you're not exactly where you want to be right now. And that's what this is. So it's the first 2 weeks is about you kind of tapping into this. Remember, take the time to, really set time for meditation, for contemplation, even if it's just, you could be listening to music, but just kind of thinking about things through, but thinking about them, but also processing them emotionally. And see if at the end of the 2 weeks, you don't find, well, okay, yeah, I was able to, and even you can learn from, the things that maybe you didn't do so well, but it's a learning thing, and you're like, okay, I know that I'll never do that again, type of a thing. But yeah, it's about self-empowerment for you, for the first 2 weeks, and really kind of go into this energy, and you're going to find that, at the other end of it, you're going to be stronger for it. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. If you have any questions in your life and would like a personal tarot reading, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, where I can see kind of where you've been, where you're at now, and where you could be heading in the future, there's a link to my website in the description box below. But with that, I'll say thank you. We will see you on some more videos for the second half of April. Many blessings.